What's the absolute hardest line that you or another player has ever said in a campaign? Let us know in the comments below. Today's sponsor is Saga of the Void Maiden. Join the crew of a rogue trader as they investigate a mysterious transmission from a planet that should not exist in this Warhammer 40k actual play web series. Link in the description. My domain of light cleric watched the Inquisitor of the Church he represented cut down a father in front of his child on the grounds of being a werewolf, and I'll never forget how awesome it felt to just let loose. Pray that there's enough of you left among your ashes to repent for what you've done. Probably a common one, but a corrupt king tried to kill us with some abomination. During the DM's bad guy monologue after we defeated it, I asked if I could cast one last spell as the king was intending to escape. Long live the king. Heat metal on the gold crown the king put back on his head. Being the DM means I'm all the bad guys and get to chew all the scenery. It's a toss-up between killing you would be boring. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to harm you so deeply that generations upon generations from now, your descendants will use my name to frighten their children into behaving. I'll admit, I was hasty before. I was impulsive and denied your request for one more day. But I think I've grown, and you've helped me. I never knew how patient I could be until I watched you bleed. Or, you expect some they'll never find you cliché. Sweetheart, with what I have planned, they'll never stop finding you. The party I DM'd for found a hideout of one of the big bad evil guys way too early. I did some horror shenanigans and they ran for the hills. But one of the PCs stopped in the hallway and said to the others, "Run! I'll hold them off! I'll face death head on and die knowing I stopped them!" The big bad evil guy, a monstrous evil deity, simply responded, "Your offer is acceptable." Sadly, one of the other players pulled this guy away before the big bad evil guy got his turn. I was playing a draconic soul sorcerer whose draconic ancestor had killed a fledgling god of war. Said sorcerer had the opportunity to speak to said god face to face on the eve of the god's latest grasp for power. The god possessed my brother, was threatening me, blah 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 blah. My sorcerer just laughed and responded, "You don't scare me. Do you know what's going to happen when I see you next? I'm going to burn you back to nothing with the very same fire that put you in the ground 77 years ago." And that's exactly what happened. I was given a Paladin of Lolth, an assassin of one of the matrons, as a character so I could join an in-progress campaign. I was very, very new to D&D, so I didn't know what to make of her. Long story short, I was forced to cooperate with these strangers in a labyrinth arena thing. And because we weren't yet acquainted, our ranger asked, "What do you do?" I didn't really know how to answer because I didn't have a character for her yet, so I went with the old reliable, "What do? I kill." We had come face to face with the big bad evil guy, Trimarch, the God Killer, whom we hadn't yet met. Now we knew he was pulling all the strings. He started in on some soliloquy and our bard interrupted with, "Haha, calm down there, douche." My DM asked the player, "Are you sure that's what you want to say?" My friend replied with, I said what I said," and was summarily obliterated. It was equal parts horrific and hilarious. Our paladin, after finding out the big bad evil guy is our warlock's patron trying to enter the material plane. "He's tried this how many times before? There is no end. He's going to kill us all and then he's going to try again." "No, I don't believe that, and neither will you. We can beat this. I think the only thing we can do is just die. No. No dying. Not for us. It ends with us. We are going to kill you anyway. But you say your cult will avenge you. So why don't you tell us where your hideout is? Us going there will surely get us killed, right? Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people. My Barbarian bonded with a gnome sorcerer PC and became very protective of her. We didn't do romance in this campaign, and I thought of my character as asexual anyway, but it was a strong found family bond, and without really intending to, I quoted the Bible when the campaign was wrapping up, and her epilogue involved starting a new quest to find a way to heal her sister. I am not even a religious person. It just, felt like the exact right thing to say. Sometimes it is. So, imagine a fancy dance, big ballroom, curious creatures, and one of our big bad evil guys comes striding down the steps, Phantom of the Opera style, kills a defenseless man, and commands everyone to have fun, because it's a party, haha! She is taking dances. In steps my fire genasi, asking for a dance. They are dancing. My character is trying to ask questions while our evil Temptress is calling my PC pathetic and weak and saying she's nothing of significance. Well, my genasi sets fire to the Temptress's sleeve and, enraged, she starts demanding that my PC tells her who she thinks she is, setting her on fire like that. She threatens shackles and all that nonsense. My little genasi says, "Oh, but I thought I was nothing." I don't know if I stunned the DM or the character because my genasi got right out of there and got off scot-free. So far. The party was betrayed after joining the army. They went to the town where the Lord was running this corrupt business that ruined their careers. Well, so they killed him. A PC picked up the body and shouted, "This is how it begins!" It was, unfortunately, the last session we played. But the town rose up to join them, and they burned the whole town down to stop the evil regime. This is how it ends! Always gonna be subjective, but I'm quite partial to two recent ones. I will wear you as a suit to your own funeral! And as a DM, don't take what isn't yours, referencing a dead player's head. Another player says, "Are you going to stop me?" To which my NPC responded, "Oh, is that the request?" I don't remember the exact line, but I had a necromancer I was playing threaten to raise an NPC as a zombie and have him eat his family while making eye contact so they knew it was him. That DM didn't really deviate from book stuff, so it didn't work, but I followed through on it with the party's blessing. Yeah, deviate this, eat your family, do it! Kind of hard and kind of funny. My grave cleric with the personality and voice of Medic from TF2 said, "Ja, stand back while I practice medicine," and cast Spare the Dying by pounding hard on a downed NPC's chest. The party needed to capture him alive. "Wake up, you! Come on, wake up!" Look, you got us. We're the guys you're looking for. We made the mistake of sticking around in your town too long. Here's what's gonna happen now. We walk out of here, and in return, we won't kill you all and turn your lovely town into blood-drenched ash. Our party's Conquest Paladin, son of the big bad evil guy known for never not having a terrifying grin on his face, was training the scrawny warlock of the party in melee combat so she could fight what we thought was the god of death. After a long bout of combat, she asked, "I mean, how do you face death?" The paladin replied with a smile. In another campaign, we were lost and staying at a dragonborn's house. Through some investigating in places I really shouldn't have been, my rogue found out he had a dead sister. in an argument about him sending off one of our NPCs on a dangerous scouting mission and insinuating it was my fault the NPC wanted to go in the first place, my character, in a beautiful fit of frustration, cut back with, "Yeah, I bet your sister was your fault too." I just want to know what the reaction of the entire table was at that moment. That sounds like it'd be a hell of a story to tell. Played an Inquisitor-type Paladin back in 3.5. There was a prestige class I can't remember the name of. Anyway, not the big bad evil guy, but one of his captains. He was a demon, had some cultists helping him. The wizard went right before me in initiative. He dropped a fireball, killing the last few cultists. I moved into melee with the demon. "Burn the heretic! Purge the demon!" Smite was applied. Yes, I know that's not how the line actually goes. I modified it. Still goes hard, though. My Warforged Domain Cleric. He's a former soldier but found God on the battlefield. "I am a cleric, so I won't kill you. But my party will. You see, I can keep bringing you back again and again. You will long for death, unless you tell me what I want to know." My DM loved it so much that he let me roll with advantage. Later on, "Hey DM, I'm going to light up my mace with Searing Smite." "Now, you are going to tell us what we want to know. Otherwise, things are going to get very hot. First, it will feel warm. Then, it's going to feel like the worst sunburn of your life. As it gets closer, your face will experience a first-degree burn without it even touching you. As it touches, it will sear your skin, inflicting second-degree burns and burning the nerves. As I press it in, your skin, muscle, and adipose tissue will melt away. But it doesn't end there. You see, I can heal you and heal those nerves, so you can feel every moment of what is inflicted upon you." Needless to say, I'm a nursing student. To put those powers to good use, please. I'm currently playing a rogue swashbuckler, and we started at level 3. Our campaign had us initially meet in a tavern. I know, it was pretty unique. And I had just been casually sitting in a darkened corner, obviously. One of the other party members was scoping out the bar and made it clear that he was trying to keep his eye on me. I got up, walked across the room, stole a beer from a guard who was drinking it at the bar, and, cool as a cucumber, asked the other PC, "Any particular reason you're eye-fucking me over here?" I can't think of any hard lines myself or my party have said, but I can think of one that still makes me giggle. Our party was traveling to a city when we were held up by bandits on the way there. The Paladin, Sorcerer, Warlock, the tank basically, walked up to the bandit leader and said, "Heal!" Rolled a nat 20, so double max damage on inflict wounds. And just exploded the poor guy. Horrific in character, hilarious out of character. I once played an old lady barbarian. There was a history of rivalry between her and the bard because of some drunken tavern singing early in the game. We were near the end of our campaign and about to take the last steps needed to prevent the apocalypse and move to the final chapter. Everyone was tired, and the casters were running out of spells. We knew there was a larger room ahead, up some stairs where an important NPC was being held hostage. We got ambushed in a hallway that was closing off behind us due to the ruins collapsing. Well, we had no choice, so we drew the enemies into a narrow antechamber, just before the hostage room. My companions fled into the staircase to get to the hostage room. Well, I had an idea, so I just stopped, turned to my companions and shouted, "Lock the doors behind you and don't turn back! You kids aren't ready for how I'm about to bring the house down." They locked the door, everyone confused except the bard. They thought I was just going to fight and run, They had to drag him away upstairs. I ignored the enemies and started attacking the pillars in the room. The DM loved it and had me do a strength roll. I rolled a natural 20 on the first try. I collapsed the entire ruins on hundreds of enemies and the reoccurring bad guy we could never kill, leaving only the above ground portion where the hostages were standing. Then the DM sent the other players out of the room. They were all shocked and certain I was getting the "you're dead" talk. The DM told me he was letting me roll 2 dice for certain checks. The first would have no bonuses and the second was an athletics check. I rolled an 18 and then my athletics was 20-something with my bonuses. He nodded. I thought I was dead because he was silent. He called the others back and described to them the destruction I wrought on the place. The muffled cries of the enemies beneath the stones and earth, the unbelievable amount of dust, and a single, tall figure rising in the gloom ahead. They froze, thinking it was the unkillable NPC, and they were in no shape to fight. Then the DM looked over at me and nodded, smiling. I just said, "What are you all standing around crying for? We have work to do." And they all screamed and started celebrating. The unknown roll had been a luck roll. I had passed, and an air pocket formed around me as the large pillar shielded my body somewhat during the collapse. I was able to claw my way out of the rubble with athletics. It was the most enemies I had ever killed at once with a single roll. Except for that one time I accidentally blew up a town. But we won't talk about that. Grandma, what did you do to the town? I don't know. They said something about my begonias, so I just blew the places up. This was from a fairly short-lived, not super serious campaign. First-time DM who didn't enjoy DMing. But my character was a spin-off of Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Oh, God. And as a sorcerer, I realized that the only weapon I had on hand was a frozen pickle. It was a long story. We snuck into a room of sleeping bandits and tried to knock them out so they wouldn't be an issue. Well, I failed my first check, causing one to wake up and scream, alerting the others. As they were waking up, we started combat. On my first turn, I rolled a nat 20 with the pickle. OHKO'd! One hit knocked out. The bandit turned toward the others with blood on my hands and a crazed look in my eyes and said, "Anyone else want a piece of this? Come here, Morty!" This is the same campaign that ended with my wild magic sorcerer casting fireball on myself as a last-ditch effort to save my friends. I got the wild magic bonus, rolled vampiric drain, murdered all of the bandits that were overrunning our caravan, and incinerated the caravan, all while healing back to full HP. I imagine it looked like an old cartoon, setting off an explosion and walking out covered in soot like nothing even happened. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and if you ever want to help us out, you can join the membership program on our channel. Doing so gets you early access to videos, maybe a little bit more. And of course, what's the absolute hardest line you or another player has ever said in your campaign? Let us know in the comments, and I'm sure we'll read it out soon. We love you all. See you next time. Toodaloo.